Good YouTube, Quinn Wade coming to y'all with basketball analysis on YouTube and analysisplayground.com. We're going to talk about free agency. It's just a little small cleanup for me, some things that you guys might have heard or might have been agreed to, and just giving y'all some analysis on that. Taylor Horton Tucker and the Bulls agreed to a partially guaranteed deal, which basically means they're not fully committed to keeping him on the roster. Obviously, the Bulls are a team that's trying to make it to the playoffs again or in a play-in tournament again, and they're trying to build their young guys up, and they're still trying to have some potential assets just in case they want to make a trade to upgrade their roster or go in a different direction and get some rebuilding type of talent like they did with Josh Giddey. And Taylor Tucker is a young guy. He looks older than he actually plays, and he actually is a guy that's more of a brute type of guy. He likes to dribble a lot. He likes to bump you, knock you, attack you, and try to get to the finish in the paint. But he's not the greatest mid-range shooter, not the greatest three-point shooter, not a great defender, but he is a quality, solid player. Like he ain't gonna change the game. That's why he's on a partially guaranteed. He's not gonna dominate the game. He's not gonna add too much value. But as he's better than your eighth, ninth, 10th guy, he's definitely a rotation NBA player as of right now. As long as he's healthy and as long as he gets minutes, he can score enough. He can do enough to warrant being better than the ninth, 10th, 12th player or 11th player on most NBA rosters. So he's good enough to still be an NBA player. That's why he gets this contract. Obviously, if they find something that's better, they're just going to let him go and go in a different direction. But at least he has some type of confidence that he still has, an NBA spot and he still can be in the NBA for a little longer if he can finally be able to knock down corner threes or spot up threes and continue to get out in transition and use that size to be able to score more. But if he's not going to be able to do that, his NBA career could be coming to an end. But it actually been a pretty decent one for a guy at his caliber, especially what we thought about him as a draft prospect. Mac McClung and the Magic also agreed to a partially guaranteed deal. He's mostly known for dunking the basketball in a slam dunk contest, but he doesn't really do much other than that, But the Magic have a lot of young talent. They have, great defense already. They already been a playoff team. They're just trying to add depth to this is the best player that we feel that fits and the best player that we can get for what we're trying to do. They are guard heavy, so I can see um, this being partially guaranteed for that particular reason too. And you also want to be able to get the best player that you can available for what you're trying to do. So I can see this just being a deal. Well, we like him. Let's try him out. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can do for our team. Let's see what his mentality is. Let's see how he plays and take a flyer on the guy we was already interested in. I think that's why that makes perfect sense. Um, Other than that, it hasn't been anything crazy. Jamal Murray did sign him a deal not too long ago, which is basically a couple hours ago with the Denver Nuggets. We knew they was working on the extension. They said he was going to be able to sign it after the Olympics. He didn't really play particularly well in the Olympics. He had a couple letdown games in the playoffs, but he also had heroic games against the Lakers that extended their ability to advance in the playoffs. But it's a 4-year, $208 million max extension, showing you that they still believe in Murray. He's still in his 20s. Obviously, he's one of their best perimeter players. It's good that they was able to get him to come back. Obviously, most people going to look at this as an overpay because Murray still hasn't been an all-star, still hasn't been an all-NBA player. He's not a great defender, but he does understand the game, got a great feel for the game, a great understanding of when it's time to score, when it's time to facilitate, when it's time to camouflage in the offense and be a spot up shooter or a guy that can break down the defense when needed. He is a guy that can step up in clutch moments when needed. He's also a guy that doesn't mind deferring or letting his teammates do things. And that's the type of point guard that they need. And he's just a master of the pick and roll. And that's something that if he can still be a deadly weapon, that's all they really need him to do anyway in Denver. So it just makes sense. This is the guy that we know can get us over the hill. This is a guy that we know we can win championships with because we have done it, and we still have a young enough guy that if he's healthy and we take care of his injuries and he communicate with us, we can get the best out of him. So I think that it makes sense for them to stay with Jamal Murray because if you can't get anything better, you're only going to get a downgrade. It's good to get the guy that can get the job done since he has done it before, and he earns that right because he has done it before, and he already has the chemistry, and they already played well. I mean, they had a great regular season, tied for number one in the Western Conference. They had a decent slash letdown in the playoffs, but they just don't have the talent that they had before. Is going to need somebody to step up. Will it be Jamal Murray, who's been starving for All-Star appearance and All NBA appearance? Will it be Michael Porter Jr.? Will it be Aaron Gordon? Or will Jokic do even more? Or will it just be a guy like Christian Braun or something playing better just because he has a lot of good teammates around him? He gets a lot more familiarity with those guys, and then he just got to just do the finishing plays, which is catch, shoot, dunk, and make a layup and make free throws, and then you can be a double-figure scorer, and then we just look at you as a fill-in player. I think that that's something they got to continue to figure out over the next couple of years because they're only getting older and the injuries are piling up on this Denver team the last couple of years, but at least they got it done. Bulls also agreed to a deal with EJ Liddell. He is going to be a guy that they're going to look at as one of the players that might not see too much playing time or get too much opportunity, but he's a young guy that just want to see what he can do and what he's about, and might as well just give him a contract just because of that, because he can play in basketball. He is a solid player, and I think that you might as well take a flyer on him. It's nothing, risky. You're not giving him a commitment. You're not giving him anything guaranteed. So it makes sense for them to go in that direction. The Grizzlies signed some other people: Armando Bacot, Yuki Kamamura, Mii Oni, and Mazuna Pereira. I feel like, well, if you're gonna go in that direction, most of these guys not gonna play a crazy amount. I think they're just roster fillers for what they need. So far on their roster, like the Memphis Grizzlies is one of the most stacked teams in the entire NBA. So I can see them not really even using any of these players. I don't even see these guys being on this roster 1 or 2 years from now. I could be wrong on that, but I doubt it because the Grizzlies are trying to win a championship with this timeline. So it's just about going all in and trying to put as much talent as you can on a roster and giving an opportunity to compete and make it to the playoffs, which is the purpose of the regular season. And then you can see who you match up against, use that to your advantage, and try to win the title. That's all they can really put their chips on and go all in with. And it makes sense for them to take the best guys for the best price. Tristan Thompson and the Cavaliers agreed for a 1-year deal. They really like Tristan Thompson. They really like what he's about. He's a big body. Obviously, he can rebound. Obviously, he can set screens. He has a really great motor. He still is athletic enough. He still is a solid contributor. Obviously, he averaged 3 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist in 11 minutes. I feel like he did receive a 25-game suspension on anti-drug policy. But other than that, he's a guy that can still rebound. He's a guy that still is an NBA player, and he is a rotation player in this league. And if you can get him for a cheap contract like that, it makes a lot of sense. Other than that, the Lakers signed Alex Fudge. I don't really see that being crazy. I don't really see that being anything. I don't think he's even going to get too much playing time. The Heat did exercise the options on Jaime Jaquez, and Nikola Jovic. Those guys start playing better and getting more opportunity. So I can see why they really like those guys after they drafted them. They ended up becoming the quality role players that most people thought that they would be or could be. But we're going to have to see, can they have the longevity? Other than that, I think that's about it for free agency coverage. Jamal Murray is the headliner. I also would say that the Markieff Morris did choose to re-sign with the Dallas Mavericks. He is a guy that can score, and that's something that they need him to be. Is just a scorer and a guy that can create his own shot and play off the ball a little bit, and he definitely can do that for the most part. And other than that, Kings signed Tyler Terry to a camp deal, just trying to try him out while he's young. and he still has some motivation in him, and they still trying to do something solid with that last couple roster spots and get somebody that's young, athletic, and come in there and try to make a difference mentality wise and try to contribute if it's needed, and if he can pass those tests, the eye test, the play test, the wanted test, and the drive test. And if he does, I can see him, staying on his roster for the most part. Contract gonna be Exhibit 10-day contract a couple times. You gotta prove it to earn it. And if you earn it, then we'll give it to you. Other than that, this is Quinn Wade signing out. Other than that, remember to comment, like, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification bell. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to check out my older videos. And if you're still on the channel and you've been a subscriber for a while, you might have missed a couple because I upload on a daily. Sometimes I upload multiple in a day, and you guys get that. You guys understand that. But that's the purpose of you still double checking, if just in case you miss. It's the summertime, it's the fall time. No real crazy thing is on basketball wise, so it gives you something to watch, gives you something to listen to, give you something to look forward to as the year dwindles down and as we get ready for another year. It makes sense to catch up on some stuff and get some entertainment value out of it, because I am one of you guys' favorite things to watch. And the same thing, if you're new to the channel, I got content like this and breakdowns and tributes to the greatest players, and I offer a lot, including uploading daily. So if you want to become a fan, this is the perfect time to do that. And I wouldn't blame you, honestly, because I love the content I produce, and most of my fans do. So I'm welcoming you into the family of analysis. I'm the guy that created the word in the popularity space, and I'm the guy that got it still going on. And now you didn't seen all these people continue to use it in their podcasts and in their businesses, in their speech, and in the greatness that we obviously been able to do on this channel. Other than that, thanks for watching.